Hello and welcome back to SEO for Web Developers. In this topic, we're going to talk about promoting your content. So this particular topic builds on the previous two topics. We started with keyword research, and then we created a piece of content. We created a blog post, and now we're going to try to give you a few more tips when it comes to what's called off-page SEO, which is promoting your content so that you can get a higher ranking on Google. The main thing when it comes to promoting content, or the main reason you would do that, is one of the ranking factors that's kind of known that Google looks at is how many backlinks, what are called backlinks, that are pointing to your website or that particular page. Backlinks are any links that are available to that link back to your website or your piece of content, that give a hyperlink back to your website or content. So when you're starting with SEO, you'll discover quickly that backlinks are very important for ranking. And what I would suggest is, if you are looking at off-page strategies, promoting your content and acquiring backlinks for your website, focus on quality instead of quantity. So don't try to get the most backlinks you can for a website or a piece of content. Try to focus on quality over quantity. Quality backlinks are way more useful than just the number of quantity of backlinks that might even actually hurt your efforts. So if you remember, in the last module, we were looking at Calgary web design prices as a keyword, and I'm just going to jump into Ahrefs. This is a paid version. You're not going to have this in the free version, unfortunately, but you could do this. You could check what I'm about to show you also in Ubersuggest. They have some free functionality. Again, you'll be limited by the number of keywords you can look up per day, but it's still worthwhile looking at some cheaper or free options for doing this type of analysis. If you don't have a paid version of Ahrefs, for example. So I'm looking at, I looked up Calgary web design prices. The only reason I'm doing this is I wanted to see the keyword, what's called keyword difficulty for this particular keyword. Now, keep in mind, this is proprietary to Ahrefs, and take it with a grain of salt. It gives you an idea of how competitive a particular keyword is. It'll tell you how easy it is or hard it is to rank for. You can see this particular one. This is one of those kind of longer tail keywords that would be, that would fit the criteria for you to be able to target, because it has easy keyword difficulty, but it has a decent volume. So 80 searches a month in my area, which is great, because even if you get a portion of those, that's a lot of clicks still and potential leads for you to look at. So one of the main things I'm looking for here is how difficult it is, and this estimate of how many backlinks I need in order to get to the top 10 results of Google. And you can see I went through this already when I was showing you keyword research. You could see the results here. You could see my website here, number 3. So I came up here probably around November of last year, apparently. Yeah, I think that's me. Anyways, you can see the historical kind of ranking and stuff as well that I showed earlier. And one of the main things you want to look at here or consider is, you could see that some of the higher ranking results usually have a higher kind of domain rating, or they have a higher URL rating, meaning so how many backlinks do they have linking to this resource in order to rank for that particular keyword. This isn't an exact science, by the way, because again, you might have an example where you have a higher rating. Let's say like here, this URL maybe has the highest rating. It has a lot of backlinks. However, yeah, this is actually not as exact as Calgary Web Design Prices. Calgary Web Design Prices. This is actually ranking for something else, and it has some mention probably about prices, so that's why it's not up here. This one's a little bit more exact. These are a little bit more exact when it comes to this keyword, and so they're ranking a little bit higher. Again, you know, nobody really knows how Google ranks these. That's part of their proprietary, you know, information in terms of how the algorithms work in order to rank these sites. But most of the time, if you look at this, you'll be able to find out fairly quickly that either a website has a higher authority or it's doing a better job describing this content, meeting the search intent for that particular keyword, or it's just better tuned, and therefore it's ranking higher. The main thing I want to show here is that the importance of backlinks. So this probably may not be a great example, just because you don't need a lot of backlinks here in order to get on the first page. But some other keywords that might be more competitive. So for example, Calgary Web Design in my case, let's search for that and you'll see this is considered hard. And this one's going to have a totally different picture. You're going to see websites here that have a higher domain rating, have more backlinks than others that are showing up on the first page here. So you can see for me, for example, I'm all the way down here, and you know my domain rating and UR are not as high as some of these other top results, right? So that's one of the components of why, for example, it takes a lot of time to kind of get up here and have you know, have a higher result. And you'll see here an estimate again. We estimate that you need backlinks from 38 websites to rank in the top 10 for this keyword, right? So it's it'll give you an idea of how much promotion you need to do for this content in order to rank on the first page in the first few results of Google. So what are some of the common content promotion strategies? There are quite a few, and it really depends on, you know, how competitive the search term search term is, and how hard do you need to promote it in order to get it to that first page. And this is called off-page SEO. This is basically promoting those particular pages, trying to acquire backlink, trying to get mentions for that particular content in order to rank it higher. So, you know, some popular methods of attaining that and promoting your content is by acquiring backlinks and sharing your content on social media, for example, so it gets seen and in turn gets, you know, natural backlinks as well. One of the main things that SEOs usually mention is like this acquiring natural backlinks. Google has a way of knowing if you're doing backlink acquisition, you know, as a practice. Technically speaking, it's considered what's called black hat SEO. So it's considered not something that you should do by Google. If you read the Google kind of terms, they say, you know, you shouldn't try to go out there and try to acquire backlinks. However, the reality is everybody does that because it's really hard to acquire backlinks unless you're a really big brand or agency that gets links naturally. You know, you're going to have to go out of your way and acquire them. But that's, you know, considered, you know, the ones that are considered more high value are the ones that are natural sounding and natural looking to Google, and they have a way apparently of distinguishing, you know, natural ones from the ones you've tried to attain yourself. So, but again, you know, backlinking and creating backlinks, acquiring backlinks is probably one of the main issues, or main, not issues, but main things you need to do when it comes to off-page SEO and promoting your content so that you get those backlinks and you try to rank higher for your website. Some of these terms that I mentioned again are kind of specific to a keyword research tool, so I wouldn't worry about them too much. Basically, you'll learn more as you go through this process. Again, one thing to keep in mind that's going to save you a lot of effort and a lot of headaches is quality over quantity. If you take away anything from this module, that's one thing. So try to acquire, if you are acquiring backlinks, try to acquire ones that are high value from reputable websites, instead of just getting any backlink that you can pointing back to your website that's not related to your niche or not related to your business. That's actually going to hurt you more than it's going to help you. So yeah, so those are kind of the gotchas before you get started. In terms of acquiring backlinks or getting backlinks, this could be a full-time job. In fact, there are companies that only do this. So this is why, acquiring backlinks is one of the hardest things. Acquiring good quality niche specific backlinks that are in your area, in your niche, is considered the best thing you can do in order to promote your website. However, it's also the hardest, because you can imagine trying to get a backlink, for example, from WordPress.org, in my case, for my particular niche, or try to get a backlink from Ahrefs. It would be pretty hard, right? You have to be fairly well established, and you have to be a known person in the industry in order to attain some of those good backlinks. So this is probably the hardest part, and hence why there are companies that offer these services and that specialize in this, actually, because it's not easy. Now, there is a way to do this, and I'm going to show you some of my favorite ways. Depending on what kind of website you're trying to rank, for example, if you're trying to rank a local business, and you want to start creating backlinks for a brand new site that doesn't have any authority or whatever, local directories are good for that. They're not going to give you a lot of SEO juice. They're not going to increase your authority significantly, but it's easy to do. So what are local directory listings? Local directories are, for example, yellow pages or websites like that, where you can create a business listing for your particular business, and where you could put in your URL to your website. That's considered a directory that would count as a backlink pointing back to your site. These are really good for, again, local businesses. So you want to create local directory listings for your website in order to get that backlink pointing back to say that you're an established business and that you have some authority, right? And so that's a really easy way to do it. You can, if you go on Google and you say local business directory, you'll be able to find many. And even if you type in your location, you'll be able to find, for example, here's a really good resource: 17 top free business listings in Canada. So you can go through all of these and create a website, create your website business listing in here in order to get that backlink. So that's a really easy way that you can do, backlink acquisition and get those directory links. They're not going to make a huge difference, but for a new site that doesn't have any backlinks, it's a great way to get started, especially for a local business. Competitor backlinks is a practice of, and you're going to need a premium tool. I think Ubersuggest actually might have this functionality. If you enter in a, let's look up my site just to see. If you enter in a website URL and you search, you can find competitor backlinks by putting in their URL and going through keywords, backlinks right here, backlinks overview. Okay, so I'm not sure, maybe this is no longer a, this might not be a, no, it's actually still here in the free version. So this is what I'm talking about when it comes to competitor backlinks acquisition method. You enter in there, if you have a top ranking competitor in your niche, you enter in their URL. You can see all of the different backlinks that they have ordered by domain authority. The higher, the better. And you can start creating backlinks that they have. So for example, I have a Udemy course pointing back to my website. Maybe you can create a Udemy link as well, create a course and have a backlink pointing back to your website as well. And you just kind of go through the list and you start creating whatever ones they have, you try to create the same ones in order to get some of those backlinks as well. So that's another way. Again, very easy. It's just time consuming, of course, but easy way to start getting backlinks. Then we kind of move down the list to harder ones. Help a Reporter Out is a website where you can get featured in a different, like on another website or blog based on your expertise. So you go to, and I've included all of these links, by the way, in this slide deck, so you'll be able to see them after. You'll be able to hit these after. Help a Reporter Out. Let's look it up. Help a Reporter Out is a service that you can, a free service that you can sign up for free, and you can say, I'm a source. You sign up, you pick your area of expertise, and then you're going to get daily emails 3 times a day, actually, asking you to pitch your service or your expertise for a particular topic. So they're going to send you, we're looking for, experts in WordPress, in the WordPress area or SEO area that can answer this question, like, are backlinks still important, for example? Then you go in and you provide your pitch, and then they might or might not feature you in a publication and give you a backlink in return as an authority for that particular topic. So that's another great way. It's a little bit hard, medium hard, because you're going to spend a lot of time. You're going to get 3 emails a day. There's going to be a ton of topics. You're going to go through all of those topics, find the one that's relevant, and then you can provide your pitch, but it may or may not get accepted. So I've had a lot of success with this strategy. I know people haven't generally. I think it's because it takes a lot of effort, and but it's a good sound strategy for you to get high authority backlinks from high authority websites and get featured in some of those websites. So it's a very good opportunity if you don't have that industry kind of authority already, so that you can get featured in these publications without using a service like this. Outreach and guest blog posting is similar. So you would look for opportunity on other people's blogs. So for example, we saw Uber suggest, maybe I'll go, I'd go to Neil Patel and say, hey, I have this great idea for you improving this particular blog post. I'm going to give you a snippet, or would you like me to write you a blog post? I'm an industry expert for WordPress. I'm going to write you a really good WordPress blog post, and in return, you get a backlink back to your website that's in your niche, and that's high authority, for example, for backlinking back to your website. So that's another great kind of way. It's, again, very time consuming, but those are high quality backlinks. And again, there are companies that just do this kind of work because it is very hard and time consuming, and it's a good investment, if you're a business or a company, in order to partner up with somebody like that can do this for you. In fact, if you're a web developer or you have an agency and you're looking for somebody just to do this piece, you can sign up with somebody through a white label type service, and then get some links created for your clients so that you can focus on other stuff and other improvements, because it's one of the main ranking methodologies that you can use for increasing the authority of your client sites. So it's, again, you're probably not going to be able to do this for every client on your own. It's going to be hard. So either you're going to have to hire somebody to do this, or you can partner up with another agency that specializes in this. So very worthwhile effort, though. And then last but not least, connecting with industry peers. So for example, if you have a good and established, social media presence, for example, maybe you can connect with somebody and ask for a feature on their blog or on their website in order to get a backlink. For me, honestly, this number 5, I have a big following on Twitter. So for me, this is probably my go-to these days, and this is how I get featured in a lot of publications, because I'm well known in the industry. Therefore, I get those opportunities to get featured on other blogs and other websites. It takes a while to get there, obviously, but that's why it's hard. Not everybody can do it, but once you do have that authority established, you can get better quality websites linking back to you quite easily. And by sharing your blog posts or your pages on social media, you'll be able to acquire those backlinks naturally. Sometimes I discover that after I share an article with my audience, I get a natural backlink anyways from somebody saying, hey, check out this new, great blog post to find out more about this and that, and they'll link back to my website and that resource. So those are my favorite ways. You'll have some links in the end of the slide deck here that can help you get started with these. But yes, content promotion is probably one of the hardest things that needs to be done when it comes to creating content and pitching that content and creating backlinks to that content so it ranks. But it's very important, and it's one of the main backlinks, or is one of the main one of the main ranking criteria when it comes to ranking your content and ranking your website. So that being said, content promotion, key takeaways. Competitive content will have to be promoted. So you're not going to be able to just create a website. Remember what I said earlier, getting 100% on rank math doesn't mean that you're going to be ranking, because competitive content will have to be promoted. So you'll have to have those backlinks in order to show up on the first page. If you don't, it's going to be very hard for competitive content. For content that's very niche, that has no difficulty, for example, you're not going to need many backlinks. The example I gave earlier, Calgary represent pricing, you saw that I don't have a lot of backlinks and I'm already number 3. Actually, the first result I don't think had any backlinks. So that tells you that, that's a search term that you can easily rank for without spending a lot of time on content promotion. But that's not going to be the case if the content or the topic is competitive. Learn some of our favorite promotion techniques that I showed earlier. You can use all of them. You can use a combination. Again, I can't reiterate this enough. Quality over quantity. That's what you need to take away from this. And yeah, it's my last point, actually. My last takeaway is, again, creating content is all about quality, not quantity. So focus on quality and not quantity. One high quality backlink is better than 1,000 low quality backlinks. And in fact, those 1,000 low quality backlinks can actually hurt you and not help you. So that's it for content promotion. I hope I gave you some useful tips. This is one of probably the most common question I get when it comes to SEO. How do I promote my website? How do I promote my content? And hopefully with this, in this module, you got some tips on how to do that. All right, thanks.